Today we're talking about things we did while we were away. F1, new season started, and some comments about the Sabres and what's going on and where we think what's going to happen with the trade deadline. Hello and welcome to Beer League Benchwarmers, the podcast where we like to throw our random thoughts together, and we figured, why not? Let's record this. I'm Sean with Jake and Rick here today. We're back. Took a little break. Everybody had some stuff going on while we were away. I know a couple weeks there. 1 week I was sick, and then I went to the Sabres game down here in Texas. So
Texas.
Little bit of everything going on.
Steers and queers. We'll let you decide what Sean is.
Welcome. What's new with you guys?
I went on a nice vacation to Florida where I had a cruise and drove through a hurricane. About it.
Nice. Was that fun?
Driving through a hurricane? No, it fucking sucked.
Oh, okay.
That was the worst thing. Be driving behind a fucking semi, big gust of wind, and now that semi's in the other lane. And it's like, okay, cool. As I was just talking to my family about it, I was like, I rented a minivan because of my size of my family. So I was like, that minivan, I can tell you, does hit triple digits. Because to pass things, I didn't take any chances. I floored it to pass people.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Yep. That was fun. Ended up taking a hurricane evacuation route for most of the trip, too.
Pretty cool.
What's that? It's basically like off the highway, down back roads where I think the purpose of the tree line is to block the winds. That way you can drive more casually. And the tree line, the woods, blocks the wind and acts as a barrier.
Never heard of such a thing. Interesting.
Yeah, bye. But we stopped at a Piggly Wiggly. Don't ever go to a Piggly Wiggly.
I found out today there's wildfires in Texas going on right now. A couple hours away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should go get some
parents text me. My parents text me like, how close are these wildfires to you? I'm like, what wildfires? Apparently there's wildfires.
I live in a city. What wildfires?
Right? I don't have forests. I live in a concrete jungle.
See, you ever think, now we've all heard, I'm sure the viewers, the three that we get, have not heard about how do you take care of crabs. But you think wildfires are like Mother Nature taking care of crabs?
They're just trying to get rid of us, probably.
Yeah. So what we have been taught is to get rid of your crabs is you shave half your pubes, you light the other half on fire, and then you stab the crabs as they escape. I think that's wildfires. It's just Mother Nature with crabs.
Yeah. Mother Nature killing out the infection.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like it.
Anybody else thinking about Vegas a lot, or is it just me?
Thinking about what?
Vegas a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at flights for this weekend because I was like, well, my first two planes are ruined. What else? Now,
I would have been so pissed if you would have went to Vegas.
Yeah, me too.
$1,100 a person.
I was actually, since we're done with this big trip, next year's big trip is Vegas. And like already told Rachel, I was like, all right, I'm moving on my thoughts and that trip. And I was like, with the flight of prices, the prices of flights, I've only drank a few beers today. I'll pay it. Like, I'm not driving that from New York to Vegas.
No.
That's forever.
I can tell you exactly how long it is.
Yeah, 20. I'll guess 28 hours.
You're wrong.
Am I? Damn.
Sean, what do you think?
I'd say it's got to be longer than me. Mine was 21 hours.
Actually, I'll go up to 34.
Sean, what do you think?
29.
You're wrong. It was 30. It was 34 hours. It was a day and 10 hours.
God damn.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, the drive to Florida, that's like on paper an 18 to 20 hour drive. And it's like, that was a long trip. Obviously, with kids, makes it longer. But like, I don't care who I'm with. A 34-hour drive, that's rough. I mean, as much as I would love to do like a cross-country road trip, I need to be in the right frame of mind. I need
I know.
I want, like, if I'm doing a cross-country road trip, I want to do cross-country where like I can make my stops and enjoy places.
And enjoy it.
I need
Well,
to
yeah,
get
that's a big part. I mean, in between Buffalo and Denver, there really isn't a whole lot where you stop and go, "This is nice."
And like, also, like, you're going to Vegas. Why would you want to do those stops? You're doing when you have a destination, you're doing as little stops as possible. When you're doing a road, like a cross-country road trip, like specifically for the road trip, the stops are what makes the trip.
Yep.
So it's like, I'll shell $1,100. I'll shell out. I don't care. I'll take out another credit card.
Hopefully, there'll be much less, in a year. I'm going to assume. I hope that they will be.
It's either that or we'll all be in World War III.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
This body is not made for military. It's made
I
for
can't.
loving.
I can't get drafted.
Me either.
I'm an only son with no heirs.
If I kill my son, can I not be drafted? I mean, I'll be wanted for murder, but
yeah, I think that will stop you from being drafted. Yeah.
Yeah, pros, cons, we gotta weigh them.
You don't have to go to war. One less mouth to feed. One less birthday. Yeah.
Saves money on Christmas presents. I'm not really seeing too many cons. Oh, I mean, I guess he'd be gone, but
is he that cool though?
I guess he'd be gone.
Today he was kind of a whiny piece of shit. So
there you go.
But then the chances of having an NHL player in my last name, pretty slim. My time's done. My prime's gone.
Never say never.
Just make another one after the war.
Like that. You do it during the war. Like a celebration fuck.
Well, you don't know how long war's gonna end.
All right. Month 8 of the pregnancy, war is still not gonna end. Well, there's a flight of stairs. Poof. Hey, you want to go check out the shop vac that I just bought?
Go see the coat hanger factory.
Yeah.
So you
want to try something cool in bed? How far this coat hanger can you get out there?
So you pull it out by the neck. Oh no, it's stillborn.
Don't you want the girls to have a cool baby doll to play with?
Oh.
It's so lifelike.
Oh, you got me one that cries. Nope. Throw it down the stairs.
It won't for long. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I have to add that disclaimer that people do on TikTok. This is just a joke. Don't take it down. Blah 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 blah. Unless you have a really nice chop back, then you can come over.
I got one. It's brand new in the box.
See, like I feel like you got. I feel like you have to get the one that can do the water too.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of fluids.
Yes. Always. Wet dry back, it's called.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Great adult purchase, everybody.
It really was. Joking aside, I asked for it for Christmas one time. My parents were shocked. Like, wow, you actually asked for an adult thing for Christmas. I was like, well, I don't think you were going to give me a PS5, so. Kyle's not going to like this episode.
Nah,
You
it's
don't
probably
watch 'em.
better he stayed home.
Yeah.
You don't watch him because he never watched the one when I asked him about us playing the game when he wasn't here. Oh, I gotta go back and watch that. Then I asked him 2 more times and he still never watched it. So.
Oh, Alter Ego?
No, the other one that he played, the sports one that he wasn't here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's right. He was here for Alter Ego. That's right.
Yes. So, kind of get into our topics. F1 back started today.
Vroom,
Ferrari.
vroom.
Ferrari did it, got it done. Goddamn Red Bull fell apart. Let fucking Mercedes get back in the podium.
Yeah, I lost a bet on that. I bet that Hamilton would win. He got third. And of course, we're talking about the 2022 Bahrain race that just happened this morning. For anybody that's watching this in 7 years, which you need to get a life. And then I put a bet that George Russell would podium, and he came in 4th. So missed those bets. Fuck you, Mercedes. I actually tried to put money on you, and you fucking let me down.
Why would you bet for them? Fuck those assholes.
Because they're Mercedes.
It's a solid bet for the last 8 years, 9 years.
Solid bet for the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or up until the last 24 hours.
Well, after qualifying, I was actually shocked. I was like, maybe it is true about Mercedes. Because it was bad. I mean, Mercedes the bottom 4 guys that all missed Q1 were all Mercedes, and you had the top 4 of the top 5. And at the end of qualifying, if Q1, the top 5, you had both Ferraris, you had Verstappen, and you had both Haas drivers.
Yeah.
In the top 5. And then now, I mean, the race happened. Red Bull's clearly got an issue because 3 of their engines took a shit. And then the bottom 6 running cars were all 6 customer Mercedes cars. So it's clearly there's a big Mercedes problem. You look at Magnussen is top in the points. Both Alfa Romeo are in the points, which all of those cars are Ferrari customer cars. So
it's like our F1 2021 video game season is coming true. When I remember playing with Ricky, and we're just like,
You were frozen.
There's like Haas people, and like Alpine are super high, and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like Hamilton and all that are lower than what they should be.
Yeah.
It's happening in real life. How much do you think? Because they were mentioning it today in the commentary, like just the new sizes of the tires and the new regulations, and just drivers not getting ample enough practice time.
That sounds like
how much does that play a factor? Like Max Verstappen and Perez, do they just not push their car too far to the limit?
Regulation changes, they change everything. I mean, the 2009 regulation changes, you ended up having Red Bull win races, which they had never won before. You had Braun come in and win the championship drivers and constructors, which they came out of nowhere. Ferrari only won 1 race in 2009 after winning both constructors titles in the previous 2 years. McLaren, I think, only had 2 wins. And then you look at the 2014 regulation changes when they went to the hybrid, that started the Mercedes dominance, which, I mean, they've held that since. Regulation changes, they do that purposefully to add a shakeup and to change things. They'll run these regulations for a while, probably 4 or 5 years, and do it again. But it definitely has an impact. I mean, a lot of it is the teams at the beginning of the year that are the best are usually the ones that, just did the best at adjusting to the new regulations. So seeing that, I mean, anything could have happened. You could have seen, I mean, honestly, if Haas would come out and ran 1-2, I guess I wouldn't be surprised because it's just a regulation change. But yeah, that plays a big impact. They had other, I mean, the car uses, I forgot what it was called, ground. It's a ground impact car or something like that. I forgot what they called it, but it's the car runs differently now from before, and a lot of other changes have happened. So yeah, I mean, Mercedes isn't far behind. I mean, if nothing would have happened to Red Bull, they wouldn't have, they would have been 5th and 6th. I think they were sitting at. But
I just think a lot of it, like the strategies, the tire strategy, seem like they just really are just, especially this race, this whole weekend, they're really just trying to get a grasp of how to run moving forward. Because like, it's to me, it's not the driver. And like Lando Norris, I'm a McLaren guy, and Ricciardo's past his prime, but I still like him. But Lando Norris is a good driver. He's not the 17th best driver. He's probably a top 10 best driver. So like, I just feel
they
like
struggled.
They definitely struggled. But if you notice, everybody started in soft tires except both McLaren drivers. They started mediums. So it just seems like the whole entire grid is just trying to get a grasp on what works now, because the tires are bigger. I know that much. So they're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what works for their car, what doesn't work for their car. So, I mean, that's how the sport is you have to adjust to it all. But it just seems like this year, this one season, it was one weekend season so far, is more dictated by the car than it ever has been outside of the driver.
I would say to a degree, the tires, no, because the tires did change. Their compounds changed. They're all harder than they were last year. Like when you saw Hamilton come out on the hard tires and he had no grip.
Yeah, he immediately slid.
Yeah, that's all because the compound of the tires are harder, which I like. It makes them less predictable. So that in part will be more on the drivers. Like watching after the first pit stop, the beginning of the race, Red Bull was on used tires and Ferrari was on new tires. After the first pit stop, Verstappen got new tires. They put the used tires from qualifying on the Ferraris, and Leclerc still had the lead. He was able to keep Verstappen behind him, and Verstappen and Perez were also having issues with their tires. Tire management comes down
tons of things.
Yeah,
Red Bull.
Tire management comes down to the driver. Something also that they were talking about, which I really hope, is they are talking about taking those heat wraps that they use on the tires. They want to eliminate those completely, which I would love to see, because then that'll add even more driver error into it. Like, it's going to require the drivers to be even better as far as managing the tires go. So as far as the tires go, I think that's more the driver than the car. But yeah, the McLaren's problems area, that's definitely something going on within McLaren. Like I said, I think it's the Mercedes engines.
Right. The bottom 6 were Mercedes engines.
Yes. So it's something with their engines. Something's going on where they are not able to keep it. And then the Red Bull issue, that's a car issue that was a durability problem. So
yeah, they had tons of issues, from brakes to tires to power. Like it was all over the board.
Yep.
Like, I'm not trying to take away anything from Ferrari, but like, it's not like that. I'm trying to word this. As much as they won it, everybody else lost it.
Oh yeah, a lot of lose in this race.
Yes, I mean, Haas gained just as much as McLaren. Not McLaren. Haas gained just as much as Ferrari did because of what happened to the rest of the grid.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Magnussen, you're not as good of a driver as half the people you just beat, and your car definitely shouldn't be either. But hey, maybe this year it is, and then it'll take an entire year for it to even out again, because that's the one thing with the change of regulations. Now, obviously, I haven't followed this as much as you have, but like, they keep changing it. The good teams are going to figure out ways to work with it and succeed with it. I feel like it's not just going to be, well, the teams that are struggling with it are always going to struggle with it. Like Red Bull's got way too much money and sponsorship and all that to just be like, oh, it's over, hand it in, we can't figure it out. Same thing with McLaren. Like, do you think, like, all right, the way it's always been is you have your top 4 guys, you know, we mentioned it before, 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, you have those mini battles. Is it now wide open, or will it eventually regulate to going back to the way it has been over the last few seasons?
No, it will regulate its way back. I don't think that. I mean, I'm hoping that Mercedes won't continue to dominate, but I don't think that that'll continue. But I mean, there's no spending cap in Formula One. So Mercedes, they spend about $400 million a year on their F1 team, where Williams spends, I forgot what it was. It was like 80 million, because that's all the money that Williams has.
Right.
So Williams is never going to be better than Mercedes or Ferrari or McLaren. And even, I mean, with McLaren, like McLaren doesn't have Ferrari money. I don't even think McLaren has Mercedes money, because Mercedes is such a big automotive company compared to McLaren. So
yeah, I wonder how much they got, because they have a lot of ties towards the other type of races as well.
Yeah, Mercedes has a ton of racing money.
Well, so I'm just thinking, like, oh yeah, Mercedes. I'm wondering if McLaren's just spread out too thin for their.
It could be, because now they're in IndyCar and they're in that the whatever the heck that's called, that off-road E, and
a whole bunch of Faust.
Yeah, so
Top Gear.
So
they're
I think
rally racing now.
No, it's like off-road electric fucking Hummers.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what it's called.
Really? They actually qualified for the championship or whatever, and then they crashed, I think, in the last lap.
Did they?
To lose it, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called, but they're in that.
Figure it out.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to have, like, any privateer team just doesn't stand a chance in Formula One anymore, unfortunately. Not like it used to be. And I kind of wish that there was some. I don't know how you would regulate it for Formula One. I don't know how you regulate, like, a spending cap, how much you can spend on your car. But I think that
Extreme E.
Yeah, I think that would help as far as keeping the privateer teams in, but it's still.
But then, yeah, it's not privatized teams anymore. You know, like I don't know. I do wish. I've voiced my concerns to you guys off this. It's such a fun sport to watch and follow, with all the drama on and off the tracks, but it's hard to root for an individual. It's hard to root for a team too, unless you are rooting for the top 2, now 3 teams of Ferrari. Ferrari was pushing it last season, but I don't think
Ferrari had a rough year last year.
I don't think anybody was expecting them to go 1-2 in the first race. I don't think anybody was expecting anybody to go to 1-2, to be honest. But it's hard. This sport, it's like, yeah, like you said, Williams is always going to be last. How can you root for Williams?
Yeah.
That's like, I'm in Buffalo. It's like rooting for the Bisons. You get a favorite player. He's good. He's gone the next season because he got called up. George Russell is a prime example of it.
If you're a Williams fan, it's because you were a Williams fan from decades ago when they used to dominate the sport, and you just decided to be a diehard, and maybe you inherited too, like us being like, oh, like I'm a Vikings fan because of my dad, so would be like a Williams fan maybe because my dad was a Williams fan or something. But like I couldn't see anybody that's just getting into the sport now.
It's hard to compare F1 to any other sport because, like, all right, you mentioned Minnesota, the Vikings. Do the Vikings go 0-16, now 17 every year?
What about?
Do they win games?
They win games.
Yeah, they win games. So does Williams ever win a race?
No.
So like that to me is different. All right, like the Bills with the longest drought in fucking all professional sports or whatever it was. We still won some games. We still had hope. And some of those seasons, there is never hope for the Williams teams. And there probably won't ever be hope in the near future, the foreseeable future. So that's why it's like it's hard to like, good job. Yeah. You might not be 10th. You might be 9th. Still not going to like podium.
Yeah.
Let alone win.
But that's what they're explaining. That's how you start. If you get points, it puts you in different spots in the standings. That's tens of millions of dollars back toward investment. So you do 10th this year, tens of $1 million coming your way. Oh, 9th next year, tens and tens of millions of dollars the next year. You do 8th.
Just because you got 10th does not mean you're going to all of a sudden jump up to 9th, because the person in 9th now is sitting at 9th with even more money to separate you from them.
True.
That's what I'm saying, is it's such a steep uphill climb from the league itself, not counting sponsorship, because sponsorship is such a huge part, it seems like, in F1. But like in the foreseeable future, unless some miracle happens, Williams will not. Aston Martin's similar boat. Like, they're just not going to be. I don't even want to say competing, but like just won't podium at all.
Not going to be contenders.
Yeah, they are going to be competing for. Like, I think of freaking the movie Semi-Pro with freaking Will Ferrell, where it's like, we got 4th place. That's Williams. We got 9th place. Yeah. Like, how are you sitting in the paddock and going like, we just got a point? Yeah. Like, that's your season. You get one race with 1 point. That's your entire season, pretty much, for Williams. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to like root for that. Like, F1, it seems specifically, you just have to enjoy racing. It's hard to show, like, have loyalty unless you have loyalty and jump on. Like me, I just started watching the sport a few seasons ago. I would be jumping on a bandwagon and be like, oh, let's jump on Red Bull because they're good.
Right.
You know, like, I'm watching it with my oldest, and she's like, oh, I like Lewis Hamilton now. I was like, why? Because he did better than the guy you were rooting for? Yeah. Like, okay. Like, at least you're honest about it.
Who was she rooting for?
She was rooting for Max. And then she went back to Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, didn't that show her? He
Yeah.
lost the championship.
Keep rooting for him. Keep rooting for him, Grace.
Yeah, F1 stuff, like I know I've said it before, like, what makes it great is also its biggest downfall because of, Mercedes. That engine's built by Mercedes. That car is built by them. Same with Ferrari. That car is built, everything by them. Williams, I mean, the car is built by them, but Williams doesn't have Ferrari money. They don't have Mercedes money, and there's no spending cap, so there's no shot.
And they have a Mercedes engine.
They got Mercedes drivers.
Yeah,
that's what Ricky and I were talking about earlier. I'm like, how can you have several teams have multiple drivers under contract that are just loaned out to another fucking team?
Red Bull's got AlphaTauri.
I know.
Well, that's why
that's a whole separate like team. But like Russell was a Mercedes driver, but you're just gonna drive for Williams.
But no, that's how AlphaTauri is, because that's Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is a Red Bull driver driving for AlphaTauri.
Yeah, but Red Bull owns both those teams. Like the Williams team is just kind of
they're their own.
Russell was a loner.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Russell was a loner.
But he was under the Mercedes contract. Yeah. But that's why F1 loves to talk about how they're exclusive and all this. Like, you're really not, because you
10 teams, but it's really only like 6.
Yeah, and you have drivers that AlphaTauri's not designed to win. Anybody who's good is going to go to Red Bull at the end of the year. So it's really, they're not there to compete for wins or championships. So they shouldn't be allowed. Like, they really need to, what would help out teams is you would have to make it so that if you're an F1 team, you could only have 2 guys under contract in F1. You can have guys under contract in F2 and F3. But F1 is only 2. You can't have, if somebody wants to move up to F2, he's under that team's contract and not a loaner. No more loaners.
Yeah,
nothing like that. Force Red Bull to sell AlphaTauri to somebody else so that there's another team on there that actually is trying to compete for wins.
Which I will say, I kind of alluded to it in Drive to Survive. I know Sean's watched it. I don't know if you've watched it, Ricky. But like I forget which race it was, you saw Christian Horner talking to Pierre Gasly saying, hey, you're in front of Lewis Hamilton. You got to block him. Like, he was being his principal pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not
you're not my,
it's not your team.
Yeah, exactly.
And they even showed, like, later on, Lewis Hamilton struggling to get around Gasly because he's being super defensive.
Yep.
Now, obviously, you're trying to be defensive because the guy behind you. I get that. But it's like, even the show's alluding to Red Bull using all of their drivers, not just the 2 drivers,
knock out
all their drivers.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. Like, that's why I find myself rooting for Haas, because it's like it's them versus the world almost. It feels like,
Right.
McLaren doesn't have, even McLaren. Like, I like McLaren because they don't have, as far as I know. And again, I'm still very new to the sport. As far as I know, it's just their two drivers. It's just Norris and Ricciardo. Where it's like you said, with the Williams drivers are Mercedes drivers. Williams is pretty much Mercedes' sister without being its sister. And AlphaTauri is obviously with Red Bull. So it's like, it's frustrating. It's a fun sport, especially for somebody that's new to it. But it's frustrating because I'm new to it. Like, I'm used to sports where it's like, oh, I got this person to root for. It's like, oh, like I got Daniel Ricciardo because he's a Bills fan. Oh, sorry. He sucks. So he's not going to do good ever.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's all F1 comes down more to the car than the driver. If you were to take,
Politics.
and politics too. Yeah. If you were to take last year and, swap Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo, like Ricciardo would have been contended for the championship, winning tons of races, and Lewis Hamilton might have won Monza, or he might have gone a year without winning. It's more, F1 is more the car than the driver because of the
Money.
regulations and the money.
Prime example.
All that stupid
Prime example today. Russell in a Mercedes car. Do you think he could have done that in a Williams car today?
No.
Exactly.
He might have got points, but he was not going to get fourth.
No, exactly.
I mean, he is a good driver. Like, the drivers do. The good drivers push the bad cars very nicely.
Yes. They know the limits.
There's still going to be a limit that they just can't achieve in those cars.
I think, personally, back to the whole 2 drivers per team. So, like, say you wreck your car in practice and you have to get it fixed for qualifying. Say you wreck your car in qualifying and you can't race. Guess what? You're out. Okay, well, if your driver can't race, guess what? That car is out. You shouldn't be able to have the ability to have somebody sub in like they did when Lewis Hamilton was out last year and they had Russell come in. And then Williams had to have their test driver. Like,
well, they have, every team has test drivers. So, like, Mercedes could have done that, but
COVID plays a huge factor in that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, all right, so you're saying there shouldn't be a practice squad in the NFL?
No.
Or the taxi squad in the NHL? Like, okay, your starter quarterback's got COVID, so now you can't have a quarterback. Like, I'm just saying with COVID, it makes exceptions for a lot. Well,
everybody's
the
Vikings.
If you're the Vikings, they're not going to see any difference between Kirk Cousins and no quarterback. Exactly. So, I'm just saying, like, I think COVID has enforced a lot of these rules as well.
True.
Like, I don't know how to say it, solidified a lot of these rules. That's just how I look at it. It's because I think Hamilton was out because of COVID. I know Kimi Räikkönen last year was out because of COVID as well.
What's his name? Was it Bottas was out today, right?
No, Bottas was there.
Vettel,
yeah. Sorry. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you had Hülkenberg. I always remember the one season of Drive to Survive and Daniel Carter was just going Hülkenberg. I don't know why, like that's all I can think about when I see that guy's name.
Yep, but good start so far. I mean, that's good for all. I mean, we kind of like Red Bull for the most part because they're, I guess, Mercedes' rival. At least Jake and I do because we can't stand Mercedes.
Yes, so right.
We like to see Max and them do good, but with them
I like
today.
Sergio Perez. I like him. Like right now, I base my guys off of personalities more or less than drivers, and like Perez, Ricardo, Alonso, Vettel, like those guys. Like I like those guys. Max Verstappen, he's growing on me, but yeah, it's
right.
If Ferrari unseats Mercedes, you're not gonna hear any complaints from me. I mean, the only complaints I will is towards Ricky, but that's because he likes any team that has red in it. Although I had thought of you while I was in the shower. All right.
The Sharks aren't red.
Exactly.
Well,
As
neither are
they-
the Sabres.
Yeah.
Well, the Sabres used to be.
Yeah, they got the red jerseys.
They used to be though, yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's not all teams, but there is a lot. Like all those
I'd say
picks you
so.
sent in that group chat are all individual drivers or teams that I enjoy the most, and it just happens that they all drive red cars. It's very funny.
Like you can say that for a lot. Like, all right, you can say that for me with blue, with the Bills, the Sabres, Michigan, like Red Bull. Yankees is like a very, very. Is that very dark blue or is that black?
Yeah, that's a dark
navy.
blue. Yeah.
Navy
Very
blue.
dark blue. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm thinking they're all. The pinstripes are almost black, but the other ones are like, especially spring training. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a popular color. Like red and blue are probably the colors that are used the most in sports.
Yep.
Like I get your Sharks are like my Minnesota Wild with the green. It's that random team, but that's because it's green's not used in everything.
That's like me with the Blackhawks. It's red for me. I got everything else is blue or purple. Blue and gold for the Viking or for the Sabres. Blue for the Yankees. Blue and gold for Notre Dame. Vikings are purple and yellow.
I got green
the
and Notre
Blackhawks.
Dame.
What's that?
Green and Notre Dame. That's what I consider for Notre Dame is green.
Their green baseball jerseys are probably the best baseball jerseys on the planet.
I'm not going to give them any credit except at sucking dick.
Kick Jake.
I was at the concert last night and somebody was being just a giant fucking tool. And you know what? He was wearing a fucking Fighting Irish goddamn sweater. And it's like, yep, this makes a lot of sense. Fucking loser.
And bringing a bad name to us.
You probably just got off the fucking ground on your knees, you fucking loser. Got a little white stuff in your beard.
Gone to Notre Dame.
The only place that I've ever heard of where a guy cheats on his girlfriend with another guy. And that girlfriend is a pretty good looking girl too.
She was a very attractive woman.
Yes. She's a bitch.
May not have had the greatest personality, but sometimes that
you just fucking hit it and quit it and leave the fucking just gelatin on her fucking eyelids, but
yeah.
I can't see. Why is it burn? You got AIDS now.
Enjoy herpes in the eye.
Yeah.
I look like a floating head.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't turn my light on because it was nice outside. I'm like, oh, maybe I should have turned my light on.
You look like one of the heads from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking good though.
I'm just a poor boy from a poor family.
Staring at his wife from this monstrosity. All right. So we got our F1. I'm sure we'll definitely talk more about that through the season because I'm sure it's only going to get better and get worse.
Saudi Arabia on Sunday.
Which it is on ESPN every weekend, Sean, because you asked today.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's
they have a TV deal every Sunday. Actually, they do their qualifying and practices, but the races on ESPN. All the other stuff is like on ESPN News, ESPN2, ESPN3. So you got to kind of find it for that.
Which you can watch all that stuff on ESPN Plus. You can't watch the race on ESPN Plus.
What?
I tried to watch the race today using Sean's ESPN Plus, and it told me I needed to sign into a TV provider.
Yeah, you just hit it again, and it's all right.
It wouldn't let me. It gave me like a code and told me I needed a code. I'm like, this is stupid.
Oh.
Everything else qualifying all that I was able to watch, but the race I wasn't.
Unless it was because I was watching it. Today.
I was watching it.
I don't know.
I thought ESPN Plus was 3 people though.
It's weird.
Yeah, It's weird. I meant to look on my cable streaming app though, like it has the F1 channel and shit like that, so you can watch like helmet cams and stuff like that. I meant to see how that looked today though.
No.
If that looks good, obviously a little bit. My streaming app is like 2 minutes behind live TV, but if that's good, I'll give you guys the info and you can watch like helmet cams and shit, and also some pornos. But we'd clearly only watch F1 on it.
Yeah. I need to watch porn on a big screen for.
I will say I have done it on the TV, and it's like, oh, what if my mailman walks by? And then it's like, all right, fine, I'll do it at night. Oh,
You'd
what if
just be
somebody
jealous.
just walks by and when it's nighttime, it's easy to see what's on TV.
Yeah.
Oh man, like maybe I should put on some like weird shit so that way it freaks people out. But the biggest takeaway from this F1 race is that Sean re-downloaded F1.
Yeah,
And he is now playing it again.
and he's winning.
And he's winning.
5 races in, 5 wins.
See, we need to get a season back, the 3 of us. We'll start a new one. How about that? Because
Yeah.
I think in the old one, Sean's settings were different than ours.
Yeah, we can redo the league.
Yeah, because I have no idea where we are anyways. It's not like I was that invested into that.
Say we did 2 races and I quit halfway through both races.
F1.
Woo! So
Yep.
in our time apart, so Sabres kind of played some interesting games, and we're kind of beating the teams that we shouldn't beat, but it was nice to see them. It's always good when they beat the Leafs. I just love it when we beat the Leafs, so I can rub it into my dad. Rub it into my dad and my brother's face. And then also amidst of that, Jack Eichel made his return to Buffalo. And needless to say, it did not go his way like he probably expected it and wanted it to.
What happened?
The little crybaby that he is, who didn't get his way, had to make comments, because he is who he is. And now he went from being probably just an enemy for the night to an enemy for life for all Buffalo sports fans, in my eyes. After you say comments like that where you bash the fan base.
That was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
So basically his comments were that was the loudest the stadium and the arena's ever been, and all it took was for me to leave and blah, blah, blah. Like, the comments were completely directed towards the fans. If you had directed them towards the organization, the owner, even Kevin Adams, fine.
Would have been
like,
all right.
I would be like, all right, whatever. Like, is what it is. It's not a big deal. Like, the fans, what the hell did we do? We booed you, like what we would do to anybody that just got traded.
Yeah, especially somebody that didn't want to be here.
Like, my wife reminded me, I went to Jason Palmville's return. Even he was booed. Like,
yeah, everybody gets booed.
He never even fucking spoke to the media ever.
Right? They never let him because they couldn't understand him.
Yeah, because he was too busy eating pussy because he's a fucking player. But like, I don't know where it's going anymore. Anyways, yeah, you get traded. Like, Danny Pereira was probably booed, and Drew was probably booed. Miller was probably,
Ryan O'Reilly was probably booed.
Oh, well.
He didn't want to be here.
Yeah, he made comments as well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't towards the fans. So, like, whatever. Like, I don't hold any ill will towards him.
No,
but it was just like, why towards the fans? Out of everybody that you could possibly yell at, fuck, you should do more comments towards your fucking union because they agreed to the terms that allowed the Sabres to do this.
Yep. Thank your
Sorry
NHLPA,
that the Sabres
sir.
did what they were allowed to do.
Yep. You can thank Bill Daly. He was on your side. It's like, it made no sense for him to say stuff like
this. He's just a spoiled brat.
Exactly. He's been doing nothing but winning his whole entire life. And that's what always floors me with any sport. These kids that dominate in all these leagues. Like Trevor Lawrence didn't lose a game until he came to the NFL. And now he's losing. And everyone's like, oh, is he really the next big thing? Well, yeah, okay, who knows? But you get McDavid, who goes to Edmonton. And, they're not the greatest, but he was dominating in all the stuff that he did. So Eichel, the same thing. He graduated high school early, went to Boston University and dominated there, came out early, drafted, These kids get this in their mindset that, anything I do is fucking pure gold. Now I actually have to try for a living and it doesn't pan out. Oh my God, what do you know? You actually have to do something and work for a living to get it to work? What do you know? Everything isn't spoon-fed to you all your life like it was?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely agree to that to a point. I feel like in those leagues that they were dominating, they were working towards it. But each league, you go off from high school to college to pros or whatever. You have to try that much harder and harder and harder. And he wasn't willing to take that jump.
Right.
And he is a hell of a player on the rink. It's just he's mentally soft. And he absolutely showed it.
Yep.
He's Austin Matthews, I feel like, is the same way. He's a hell of a player.
Yep.
He's mentally soft. You showed it when he cross-checked Darlene.
Yep.
Darlene, he got hit. He got hit. It was a good hit against Darlene. Darlene came back and he hit him back. You know, he did defensive play and worked him.
Jogging for position in front of the net.
That any of that call for a cross-check to the neck?
Right.
No, but then you sit in the bench, you're just like sitting back, like you did nothing
I don't deserve to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Like you guys are mentally soft.
Right. That brings us back to the whole point with when Sabres named Eichel. Yes, I understand at the time maybe that was their best position they could do, but I don't believe that your most talented player on your team should be your captain. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be.
I remember the three of us having a conversation years and years and years ago about Ovechkin being named captain. And we're talking about like, I mean, we're talking decades ago before we even were working together. We're talking in high school, probably.
Yeah.
Part of the blood clots, blah. And
I wasn't a part of that.
But I just remember maybe it was college, but either way, I just remember saying like, he could barely speak English and he's a fucking captain. Like, do what the Sabres are doing now. Not have a fucking captain. And they have people on the team that could be captain with Okposo or Tuck, right now. But even still, like, you don't have to have a captain.
No. Fuck, all those years after Drury and Breer left, we went with either alternating captains or we went with 3 assistants or 3 alternates.
Even when they were here, we alternated captains.
Yeah, because he had such a leadership in the room.
Yeah. Jason Powell was one of them. JP Dumont was another one.
Yep.
Fucking Jochen Hesch was another one.
Yeah, say Jochen Hesch. Was Vanek everyone? One of those rotating ones?
Nah, he was a crybaby.
Yes, he was very much a crybaby. Golden Gopher, though.
Good for him.
But, and I'll never forget, like, amidst the whole stuff started at the beginning of the season and the whole talks with Eichel and everything, and people were giving Mark Messier shit because he said on NHL or on ESPN on NHL about that Eichel shouldn't be the captain. He's not mentally stable. He's not there, and made the same comments that we said. Everybody was like, why? He's the best player. He doesn't have to be the best player to be the captain. Anybody that's going to have a voice in the locker room, and that was something I don't know if it was a shot toward Eichel, but I'm kind of thinking it was. But after the Sabres beat Vegas, and I think it was Tuck made a comment, and then Dylan Cousins made a comment it was Craig Anderson after winning his 300th, and they talked to him, and he goes, yeah, these guys are great. They're all do everything together in the locker room and outside of the locker room and everything. And I was like,
well, there's been plenty of comments outside of that. Darlene's made comments, saying that we're brothers, and Cousins has made comments.
Yeah, I've heard
Thompson's made comments, and there's been many comments. I mean, I think it was clear that the team did not like Eichel. I mean, the face-off dot to win the game was Eichel versus Cody Eakin. Eichel gets kicked out, and as Eichel is skating away, Eakin is staring at him, stretching his neck because that was the surgery that he had to have. And you're getting fucking shit talked by a guy that shouldn't even be in the fucking league.
But the best.
How much do you fucking suck?
Right?
Like,
how much is this getting under your skin, bro?
Like, that's like if I was playing defense and then Kyle started talking shit to me, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
excuse me? Like, all right, okay.
All right, bro. Yep.
Like, the team obviously fucking hated him.
Yep.
I mean, there's stories out now, like that. There was a story that just came out, but it was brought back or whatever, of like a junior Sabre tournament, and the Sabres just finished a practice and they started doing pictures with the kids, like outside after they got changed and all that shit, and like there's pictures of Okposo with the kids, and so on and so on. And I guess like one of the dads is like, yeah, Eichel was there, but he walked by pretending to be on his phone. So that way he wouldn't talk to the kids and acknowledge them. Like, he was just a douchebag.
Classy dude. He thought he was better than everybody else.
Fucking Boston kid.
Yeah.
Like, he is, now coming from Buffalo sports, he was supposed to be what Josh Allen is.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a player, but a hell of a class act.
Yep.
Luckily we got 1 out of 2. Like,
well, I definitely think it has a lot to do with it. I don't know if Josh Allen's older, but Josh Allen had time to mature and actually spend time in college other than maybe 2 or 3 months in college like Eichel did.
I don't know what the difference of age is, actually.
But, Josh Allen got an experience of life a little bit outside of being tied to hockey 24/7 like these guys are nowadays, or they leave their home at 12 years old and live with a billet family, whether it be in Canada or in the USHL program up in Ann Arbor. And it's just like they're grooming these guys. You had alluded to this comment before, Jake, about these guys being involved in this organization, and then you get these athletes, these elite athletes that are supposed to be superstars, but then when it comes to media coverage, they don't know how to talk or don't know how to handle themselves. Well, then why not train them or coach them or teach them how to handle these situations? Because they're going to be in that limelight, in that spotlight for the rest of their lives. Don't you think that'd be a good asset for them to know how to talk to media and respect people, be adults?
So both of them are 25 years old. Not a single age, not a single year different. I will say I don't give Eichel a benefit of the doubt because he played in Boston, where he grew up. And okay, he played in U.S. development camps or whatever. Josh Allen grew up in California and played in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So, like, both were away from home. And I don't care who the fuck you are. Connor McDavid is a hell of a player. I don't hear any of these fucking stories from him. And he grew up in Canada and played in Erie, Pennsylvania. So, like, it just all depends on, like, obviously, I'm a believer that how you're raised as a child from your parents is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how you're coached is another huge thing. If you're coached and saying you can't do wrong, you're amazing, keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to know you're doing anything wrong. Why would you?
Yeah.
So, like, Josh Allen had a more humbling experience while Jack Eichel was in a more, I don't know, selfish environment, I guess.
Right. Yep, I agree.
Fuck him. I mean, I care less about him now. I hope they miss the playoffs.
Yep, I was just saying that was the fact I was going to bring up next. In the last 8 weeks, the Vegas Golden Knights are the worst team in the NHL. I don't know what they've done recently in the last couple of days now, but last time I checked, they had lost 5 in a row and lost 18 of their last 28. And I know from past seasons, they've done they're a fresher franchise. 2 years into their organization, they had a slow start, and their owner fired their coach, Gerard Gallant, who took them to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before. And now they're having this slow start again. Are they going to fire Pete DeBoer? And they're not getting the scoring. They have no defense. Their goalies are hurt or non-existent. But there's one thing that's been new to this whole thing since this all happened. It's the addition to Jack Eichel being played.
Jack Eichel.
Wow, how about that? Sabres aren't winning them all, but they're still at least enjoyable to watch some nights.
Is Las Vegas Buffalo Sabres new mental drop-off zone? Because or mentally fucking impaired drop-off people, because they now have Eichel and Robin Leonard.
When we have Cody Eakin, Peyton Krebs, and Alex Talk.
Yeah, and Colin Miller.
You're right.
Those are all former Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, but are they mentally
and
stable?
Malcolm Subban.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about him too. Yeah. Are they mentally stable? I think they are. Yes. Those guys that went the other way, no, I don't think so.
No.
I'm trying to find the stat. Basically, the Sabres this year have more wins in March
Then they did the last 3 seasons. Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
They're 5-3 right now, and what's it, 17 or 18, 19 or 19, 20, and 21. They had 3 wins, 28 losses, and 2 overtime losses. So, are they doing better? Sure. Are they great? No. But we're starting that foundation of where we want to go. We're moving in the right direction. You got guys that want to be here, like an Alex Tuck and Dylan Cousins that wants to progress. And I think with the trade deadline coming up, I think you're going to see some not key names, maybe some key names, but you're going to see some decent players maybe on the move with the Sabres. I bet you they dump a couple of their defensemen. I bet you Colin Miller gets moved. I bet you Mark Piskett, some just like depth guys that a playoff team might need a 6th defenseman or a 7th defenseman for the playoff push. As we already saw today, they got rid of Robert Hagg.
Yeah, I can
Right?
see Miller.
They sent him to Florida. Is that where he went?
I think for a 6th or a 7th rounder.
6th, yeah. Which,
whatever.
Right? I think we got him for next to nothing anyways in the Taylor Hall trade. So. No, that was Bjork. Never mind.
I was gonna say
Hagg, I think we just signed.
Robert Hagg. No, we got him the Ristolainen trade.
Yes. Which Philly, you're fucking retarded. Sorry,
Yeah.
not supposed to say a word, but
yeah. Don't fucking say the R word, man. Fucking Jew. Shout out to South Park. I fucking forgot what I was gonna say now too. Oh, anyways, yeah, I can see Colin Miller. I can see Victor Olofsson. Curious about Gergensons. With his injury, if he's healthy enough, maybe that he gets sent somewhere.
Is he hurt again?
He's been hurt all season. Yeah, I don't even know if he's played a game this season.
Oh, I didn't know he got hurt again because I knew broke his leg last year after he'd signed into that massive contract.
Yeah, no, he hasn't played in a long while.
I didn't know he got hurt. But just goes to show you how much I pay. Jesus, Ricky's getting dark over there.
I know, he keeps distracting the fuck out of me, man.
Smile.
He's played 36 games.
It's half the season. About 62 games in.
He's played the last couple of games, and then he missed a couple months. Yeah.
So yeah, I could see him getting dealt.
Traded. Yeah, future episode we'll go through the roster and after the trade deadline, and we'll see who's left, and we'll go through who we think will stay on the team.
Yep.
Team's gonna get shook up, especially after the college season. I think Owen Power is gonna be here at the end of the season.
Yeah, I could see him being here. I don't know if they'll call Jack Quinn up. He's having a hell of a year in Rochester.
I was just seeing he's got the 6th best points per game in AHL since 2008. And he's only 20 years old.
Wow. Nice. Yep. I know we've been saying we sucked for how many years, got Eichel and still sucked. Now it sucks that we're redoing it all over again. But maybe we're finally going in the right direction. Hopefully. We got people that want to be here. We thought that with Eichel too. Really, maybe did we though? But
I would like to see the Jack Eichel trade tree. Because, all right, we tanked for Eichel, but then we got Hawks and Krebs, and they're panning out pretty damn well so far. I mean, honestly, it's looking like we won the trade. And
Oh,
a trade that I didn't think that it'd be possible to win.
Right.
I mean, it's
I just
still
got to bank
super early.
Just got to bank on what we get in the draft with that pick.
Huh?
Because it's top 10 protected.
They all are.
So
we hope for 11th overall.
11th overall. Maybe Shane Wright will fall that far.
He'll fall.
Did in your NHL.
Yeah, my NHL is also a couple years behind.
True. Yeah, I don't know about any other big trades. I mean, in the NHL, you had Claude Giroux get traded today.
Yeah,
to
Florida.
Which
they're making a push.
And then
Giordano was just traded to Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know,
that.
yeah, they got to make a push too. They're struggling with their defense this year and their goaltending, so I could see them making a move to get a goalie too. But I know Kevin Adams had made a statement earlier a couple weeks ago about the trade deadline coming up, and he said he would be willing to take on contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see us doing that just to eat some contracts for some teams.
And so we're barely at the salary cap floor.
We're barely at the floor. So it'll be interesting.
Yes, sir.
3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. It's officially the trade deadline is over.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, 20 games left. It was funny. We were talking. Ricky said something about we're at like the halfway point. He's like, oh, wait, we go to like middle of April. I'm like, no, we got at the end of April this year because they started late. He's like, oh, they got like 20 games left? I'm like, hold on, let me check. And I counted them out. Exactly 20 games. And I counted the fucking schedule. And then actually, like I could have gone and looked at the standings and seen how many games played. I was like, oh, I could have done that. 62 out of 82. Oh, I wonder how many are left.
That's what you're talking about. Like, I counted out their schedules. Like you just subtracted 82 and what they played. And you're like, nah.
I actually counted the days on the schedule. Yeah. And after I did that, I was like, I could have just went and looked at the fucking standings. Tells you how many games they fucking played.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to fucking find.
Yeah. Good job, Sean.
Very funny.
That was my aha moment of the day. Yep. And then, I mean, it wasn't one of our topics for the day, but the NFL preseason or free agency has been on fire. I'm sure we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a future one.
Yeah, but
go Bills.
To say it's been some good stuff. Not on the Vikings side, to say the least. You know what? I've come to the conclusion, guys. So you know my theory or my superstition that every time I get a Vikings jersey, they leave the team. I guess I just got to bite the bullet, fellas, and get a Kirk Cousins jersey.
Do it.
They'll give him like a lifelong contract.
Yeah, they'll let him stay there for life. They'll break the curse.
Listen, we don't want to get rid of you. You don't swear.
Frick. Gosh darn it. Phillip Rivers never used to either.
Yeah. How many Super Bowls he win?
None. Got 9 kids though. He won
that.
He won in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we move on to our next thing?
Let's fucking do it.
All right. So now we're gonna do Sean's chin scratchers. So this is a fun thing we like to do every week. I come to the table with some random questions that we have thought of throughout our week or weeks since we haven't been here. I would be like weeks. Sorry, had to do it.
He would too.
I know he would. He used to do it forever on everything. And somebody would say weeks, he would always yell it. But we like to have our fans answer the questions in the comments or send us questions too. Let us know what you guys think or if you have anything that you want us to ask on the show. So my first one to you guys, and this one could, Kyle could be part of this one too. What video game do you want remastered to the next gen console right now?
Poker Race Driver 3.
Fucking knew you'd say racing.
Well, okay.
Man, that's a tough one.
Right? I'm going to go kind of along the same lines as Ricky, but not as that. But I would say Need for Speed Most Wanted. I want that on next gen. New stuff. Pretty much same concept of the game, but just
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I was just gonna fucking say that.
Good one.
Like any of the original Star Wars Battlefront games.
Yeah.
Not the EA ones, but like the original.
Yeah. For PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah. You know what? NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz.
Yeah.
As well as NHL Hits.
Never played Hits.
I scored so many goals with Marty Brodeur. It was amazing.
Or another one I'd like NBA Street. I loved that game.
Yeah, the street games are good.
Yeah. There you go. Nice. There you go. Those are some good ones. Of course, there's sports games. Those are ones we always like.
I remember getting NFL Blitz when it first came out. We bought it from Sam's Club. They had to come and unlock the thing and slide it across and hand me the hard copy. It was awesome. Those were the days.
I just remember playing a shit ton of fucking Skateland.
Yeah, and the actual arcade thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like that's like one of those games. I mean, not many games other than, you obviously look at like Pac-Man and Tetris and all that shit back in the day, but like that was an arcade game before it was on console.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what about Pokemon Stadium?
That'd be cool. I'd even like them to remaster like the original Red and Blue for like the Switch. That'd be cool. Give us the ability. Yeah. I know they did remaster them for the Game Boy Advanced and Leaf Green and Fire Red, but still.
See, if there was the gameplay of Arceus, but like graphics of Arceus and all that,
but the
gameplay storyline of Red and Blue, perfect.
Yep, 100%.
Well, that's I'm wondering because when's the new ones are coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And after just buying Arceus and being disappointed with that, like I'm not gonna be buying that new one anytime soon.
They're gonna be more along the lines of what like Sword and Shield was.
But I'm wondering, is it gonna be the open world?
No.
Like Arceus, it's not. So they're not even gonna use that concept. That's fucking waste. What a waste of a concept.
They're gonna have an open world-esque area like they did in Sword and Shield of the Wild.
Yeah, I don't care.
Waste.
Yeah. What's the point of having a whole game like that if you're just gonna go back to the old way? Like, stop that.
Stop it.
I guess I won't be getting Violet and
another
Crimson,
game,
whatever it's called.
Just popped in my head is Time Splitters.
What's
it was
that?
on the GameCube. It was a great fucking game. Kyle and I played it a lot.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
You should watch it or play it. I don't care where. Play it. It's a good game. It's a funny game too.
Yeah,
I don't even remember much of it, but I remember really enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, technically it's at my parents' house, but we have NFL Blitz for the N64. When Blockbuster was going out of business, they were selling a ton of games, and I got NFL Blitz. What was it? Mike Piazza's Strike Zone, Wayne Gretzky 99, and one other game. I think I paid $5 for all of them.
You know what needs to be remastered is Paperboy.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That was a great game.
The NES.
I never played it.
What?
No, never had an NES. I started at the Super Nintendo.
My brother's buddy.
I'm so cool.
Downloaded an emulator on an old computer, and it had all the classic arcade games on it. So like he had like Tekken Fighter, like whatever one it was, or Street Fighter, I think it was. And then he had Paperboy. He had the Simpsons Road Rage game or whatever.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, he had the Ninja Turtles game on there. He had,
which they're coming out with a new game that's side scroller, like the old arcade games and stuff like that.
Nice. But yeah, he had like Golden Tee Golf. He had bowling, all like the stuff from the arcade. And he ended up buying this motherboard thing that had like 6 buttons here in a Joy-Con, 6 buttons here in a Joy-Con, and then the roller ball in the middle. And he programmed it to plug into the computer, and then he hooked up just like a regular TV to it, and we could play all this stuff. He's got it hooked up in his barn, and
Nice.
you just hit a button and you pick all the games that you want.
It's pretty cool.
Do you guys remember? Used to be across the street from Target on Transit Road. There was this place called Doc's Fun Center. I only had been there a couple times, but I went there for a birthday party with some friends when I was in elementary school. And you paid a flat rate. I think it was like $10 to get into the place. And then it was every arcade game, like in Aladdin's Castle, you name it. And all you had to do was push a button and then you played. You had to put money in or nothing.
There's a place in Erie that's the same way. There's a bar in it and it's got food and shit like that too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Arcades, they're hard to find by, but like when you can find them, they're good. They're really nice nowadays.
Yeah. Definitely retro gaming was cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We got us for the Sean.
I got another one. All right. So my next question is for you. If you could have an L for all of us, if you get an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be? And you're not allowed to pick money.
Chicken wings.
Oil.
You're gonna make your own gasoline. There you go. It's a good one.
I mean, yeah, like that's all I can think about. Like anything to make money.
Yeah.
That's a very dad answer.
Did I win? Yeah, chicken wings would be fucking awesome.
Right?
Yes, unlimited chicken wing. Fuck yeah, that'd be it. Dinner every day, lunch every day. Perfect.
Breakfast.
Death by 40.
Well, that's like I'm thinking like Mountain
baked chicken
Dew.
wings. I'm not worried about those.
Mountain
Baked
Dew
chicken wings would be fine.
That'd be real good. Yeah, gasoline would be awesome. Even if it's not for me selling it, I do road trips and shit like that. So
Yeah, never have to worry about paying for that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Save you a lot of money.
That's $75 every 2 weeks for me now.
It's like $70 every week for me.
Yeah. You got a farther drive than I do, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What's your distance? Well, I mean, distance-wise, probably, but what's your time frame? How long does it take you?
25 minutes.
I'd say it's 20 for me. But mine's city driving. I don't have any highway.
Mine's mostly highway.
Ricky, how far is your drive?
Yeah, it's about 25 minutes.
When he has to work.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes around there. It's 23 miles. But it's entire highway. I get on the highway literally 2 blocks down the road, and I get off the highway 2 blocks from work. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Sean? What would you want unlimited of? Unlimited power. Shout out to Star Wars.
I was gonna say Pop-Tarts or ketchup. I got a better one. Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
I will
or
say
McDonald's chicken
I've
nuggets?
grown to really like the spicy chicken nuggets at Wendy's with the ghost pepper ranch dipping sauce.
Ooh. Spicy. Spicy.
Spicy.
Have to try it.
It ain't bad. Get vanilla Coke with it.
Nice.
I love vanilla Coke. So next question, Shauner.
Next one. We got what's your ultimate nightmare social situation? Jake, you don't have to answer this one if you don't want to. I think we already know.
Are you talking about my situation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, that didn't even pop into my head. Yeah, that would suck.
Yes.
Oh, God, that would really suck. All right, man. Like, that's all I can think about now. You know how scary that was getting back home from a cruise and being like, what text message or phone call did I miss?
Right.
Like, scary.
Scary.
Say for me, anything involving people and outdoors, being in public.
I mean, a lot of it for me would be my kids. Make it however you want to make it, but like if I, anytime we get a phone call from the school with the kids, that's scary for me.
Right.
What about you, Shauner? They ran out of ketchup.
No, I think it'd be more along the lines of like getting like bad news about loved ones, especially being so far away. That's definitely just a tough situation. But that's all I had. You guys got
So
any
you got?
questions?
I got a couple questions.
Oh shit! All right.
If you could be any animal, real, not mythical or anything like that, what would you be? Like if you came back reincarnated.
Probably be a crocodile.
Crocodile. Okay.
So those fuckers live forever. And if I wasn't that, I'd be a snake. And I'd just come find you.
I'd hate you so badly. Fucking asshole.
Probably a blue whale. They're big.
I think I know why.
Just because they're big, nothing really fucks with them. They get to swim anywhere,
We got big ass fucking dicks too.
They got huge dicks.
Do they?
I mean, megalodons eat them, don't they? Or are they all dead?
Megalodons? Yeah, I don't think megalodons eat any blue whales anymore.
Weird.
That we know.
Yeah.
They eat them whole.
I don't know, there's some controversial videos popping out of this great white with these giant white marks on the side of her. And everyone's trying to debunk it. I'm like, I don't know, that looks like something big there.
Well, why didn't it eat the great white shark?
I was gonna say, like, if a megalodon bit a great white, the great white would be dead.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. But that's what everyone's like. They see all the people make all these comments about these great whites with all these scars and stuff. It's like, oh, that's all those boat propellers. No, those would be mating scars. That's what they do when they're
like they
on.
literally
They fucking bite each other.
Fuck.
Yeah,
That's how I fuck. And then I and I let go. I go, and then she releases.
What would you be, Jake? What animal?
I mean, shark would be cool. Yeah, crocodile. I like crocodiles because then you can do water and land.
You can't go very fast on the land, though.
They're fast as fuck on land. Are you fucking talking about?
Not according to Steve Irwin.
Well,
pretty quick, but you can outrun them. Like if you're running forward, you can outrun them. But
yeah.
if you're standing there facing it, and they can lunge at you at a good distance.
A crocodile on land. American crocodile, 20 miles per hour. It's pretty fucking fast. You know how fast I can run right now? I can't. Fat.
Guess the crocodile's getting you.
Yeah, oh fuck yeah. 100%. No, let's be honest. Let's get my kids first. That's how I get out of the draft. But anyways.
It's true. Oh no, watch out. It's a big rock.
Yeah, look at. Hey, you guys like Pokemon? Go check out that new one.
That's Totodile.
Yeah, right. Hi, dear.
That's Fraligator.
Huh?
Tanner almost just threw up.
Why did he almost throw up?
He's so congested right now.
Well, I'm trying to kill him anyway, so that way I get out of the draft.
Yeah, see, he's not the fun kid.
He's not the fun kid. I'll talk to you later.
Watch the episode.
We got life insurance. The last question is, if you could have any accent, what kind of accent would you have?
Australian.
I fucking love Australian. That was my answer.
Irish.
Scottish is pretty
accent.
cool too.
Yeah, Irish or Scottish. Like, I'd like to have like a Gerard Butler or like a fucking. I'm trying to think who else is Irish, but yeah, hard Irish accent.
I but just kind of want to like start saying mate and cheers and shit like that. But like, I feel like coming from my mouth, it's just like, oh, what the fuck's this guy talking about?
Bloody hell right, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Irish, or maybe even British.
Cheers on the Vikings.
British.
Vikings.
Yeah, like a nice Cockney accent.
You want a what in your what?
That's the name. That's an accent in England. They're called a Cockney accent.
No, I don't think so. I think you're just gay.
Okay.
Hey man, I still love it. Just not in that way. So I need to set that line in the sand so that way
okay.
like you don't get the wrong signal.
Thanks.
If Sean were to come out, Jake, and say that he's gay and he's in love with you, he's gonna kill himself unless you have sex. What would you do?
It's knowing you.
I would
How could you do that to Sean?
I would go over to his parents' house and tell them to start planning the funeral.
I'm your new son.
Yeah.
Which
And
you practically are.
after oh, never mind. I'm not gonna go. Never mind. I was gonna go so much further, but then once you said that, it's like, oh, that's incest.
Yeah, don't be fucking my mom.
I'm here for you. Oh, I'm here. Oh, where's your head going? Oh no. Oh no. We're grieving together. Oh.
We're grieving together.
Oh God. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. I'll see you guys soon to give you Sean's shirt.
Dad, don't watch this episode. Or at least wait till Jake gives you the shirt.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh, this won't be up till Wednesday. I'll give him the shirt on Monday.
Go. All right. I got nothing else. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
No Kyle this week. He says he wants to be in it for next week. So I say we don't do the podcast next week.
I mean, I don't know what my hockey schedule looks like, so
Right.
I don't know if I can do it next week.
Right.
You guys are more than welcome to do it without me.
We'll play it by ear. Like we always do. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Sorry we were off for a little while there, but we're back.
See you later, mate.
Adios.